Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone was gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember it. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken sad and certain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the feeling of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "madam, I truly forgiveness I implore, but the fact is, I was napping, and greatly you came rapping, tapping at my chamber door. And darkness, and nothing more." Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," I said, "surely that is something in my window. Let me see, then, what the reed is, and the mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and the mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute he stopped or stayed he, but with mine allured her lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. And this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of countenance it wore, though by thy crest of storm enshaven, thou I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly name is on thy Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl, to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word did he outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope and melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. Nevermore?" But the raven, still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird, and bust and door. Then upon velvet sinking I betook myself to linking fancy into fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what the grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, "Nevermore?" This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned to my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining the lamp-like loaded o'er. But whose velvet violet lining the lamp-like loaded o'er? She shall press. Nevermore! Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tuffled floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels we hath sent thee, respite, respite, nepenthe. From the memories of Lenore, quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe and forgot this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore! Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter, sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on the home by horror haunted, tell me the truth, I implore. Is there balm of Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore! Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil. By that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul, with sudden ladness, within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore! Be that word our signing and parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest of the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that soul back hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out of my heart, and leave thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, Nevermore! And the raven never fitting, still sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of demons that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.